Welcome to the Red and Green Report.
Orale, let's do this.
Yo, welcome to episode 10 of the Red and Green Report. If you would like to follow us on social media, we are at Red and Green Report on Instagram, and on Twitter, it is Red and Green Rep 1 because Twitter would not let me have Red and Green Report for some reason. I don't know why. Today's unofficial sponsor is Nexus Blue. Wait, what is it called? The new brew house down on Broadway. What is it called? I'm never prepared for this.
I didn't know there was a new one.
There's a new one. And me and my buddy Ua went yesterday, and it was delicious. It's on Broadway. I think it's the Nexus Blue.
I've only been to Nexus once, but I feel like they have one of the best combinations of like delicious beer and like good food.
Oh, dude, the food is amazing.
Yeah.
So there's, Nexus Blue Smokehouse. It is on Broadway and Cesar Chavez. And what did I have, dude? I had the chicken and waffles, and Ua had the hot chicken. Have you heard of the hot chicken? It's famous out of like Nashville, Tennessee.
Last time I was there, I had the chicken and waffles. It was awesome.
Okay, dude, their fried chicken is
Really?
top 5, in my opinion. Yeah, man, it was great. So go check out the Nexus Blue Smokehouse. They're actually adding on to it. It's going to be a lot bigger, but right now they're still working on it. But you can go there and eat, but get there at a good time because we went and it was packed. We waited for about 10 minutes. But yes, go check out the Nexus Blue Smokehouse. Today I have actually have a coworker with me, fellow educator,
That's right.
Daniel Taylor. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through.
No problem.
How was Europe?
Man, Europe was a blast. You know, my wife and I went for our 10-year anniversary. We had about
Congratulations.
8 days. I think in a perfect world, I'd like to take a lot more time, but we have kids that we're leaving at home.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to leave them for too long. Even I think 8 days was kind of a lot.
Yeah.
But we started in London and did some awesome London shit.
Where'd you fly out of?
We flew some advice that someone gave me was to look for flights out of like Denver and Dallas instead of Albuquerque because flying out of the Berkeley is just expensive, almost no matter where
because you always
you're
have
going.
to make a connection.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
So we found a flight that was direct from Denver to London, and it was a pretty good price. And then originally we were going to just drive to Denver.
Yeah.
But we bought our flight long ago.
Can't talk.
Long
Summer
ago,
break.
no,
Teachers on break. Man.
That's right. I shut down that part of my brain. We bought the tickets a long time ago, so we had a little extra money. We just bought flights to Denver, so that was nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So we flew into London, and we did that for about 4 days, and then we went to Paris.
What'd you do in London?
So we actually did a lot of cool stuff in London.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things that we did, because I'm kind of a nerd, is we went to the British Museum.
Nice.
And so that's where like the Rosetta Stone is.
Okay.
The Rosetta Stone is pretty awesome, so it was cool to see that in person. And people say like the museums in London that you could spend days in there. And it's true if you wanted to look at and read every single little thing in the museum. But I feel like if you do a little research ahead of time and figure out what you're really interested in, then you can kind of hit those spots and get to see the stuff you want to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 days in London.
Yeah, 4 days in London.
Did you do the Jack the Ripper tour?
No, man. We
Dude,
thought about it, but
my brother went to London in high school for his Avid trip or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And the teacher took him on the Jack the Ripper tour. And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, they get to where they start the tour, and the guy's like, "Look, we're in a pretty rough area of London. If anybody messes with you, just tell them you're with me. Everybody knows me."
That's funny.
It's like, okay. And
I'm with the guy.
we're going to be walking by a few bars. Like, people are going to say stuff to you. Just keep walking.
No way. Just like heckling them as
Yeah,
they walk by.
yeah. Just keep
Like,
walking.
Get out of here, you damn tourist.
And,
Really?
Like, telling them all about, like, that time in London, what was going on, to, like, that present, gangs in London, hooligan culture.
That's so cool.
And I thought, man, that's got to be, like, one of the best tours to go on. Dude.
You know what? Tourism in general is so interesting to me because I feel like as a place that gets tourists, because Albuquerque gets some tourism, there's like you're kind of split because there's part of you that's appreciative. They're bringing in money and they're bringing in people, and hopefully, the reputation is good. But then there's also, and I saw this in Europe, there's places where they just don't want you around.
Oh yeah, dude, it's
they're like separate from the idea that this is good for our economy, and they're just like, get the hell out of here. What are you doing?
It's funny because I'll be at Frontier, you know, getting breakfast or whatever, and there's like a tourist like, what's the difference between red and green chili? And I'm just like, we don't want you here.
Goddamn tourist. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Go back to Rhode Island. Not that there's anything wrong with Rhode Island. Just, we don't. Yeah. What do you mean you don't? Christmas? It's not Christmas. Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
But so London 4 days, and then you went to.
We went to Paris.
Paris.
Yeah, but going back to London, the closest thing that we did to a tour was really cool, and it was called the London Bruise Cruise.
Oh.
And so it was down the Thames. It's funny, I was saying it wrong for a long time because they don't say it the way it's spelled, right? Like it's spelled Thy, I don't know. But they just call it the Thames. The Thames.
The Thames, yeah, man.
It was a bunch of like local craft breweries out of London just slinging their stuff. So you buy a ticket on the boat and then you drink up. And that was really cool because I'm a fan of craft brew. And that was one of the things I wanted to do while I was out there is try some different stuff. And it turns out their taste is pretty similar to ours. There's quite a few sours and a couple of IPAs.
Man, I don't like sours.
You don't like sours?
No. Every once in a while, I'll find one and be like, oh, man, this is good. But it's rare, dude. I don't. Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes a sour just tries to be sour for like the sake of being super sour. If you can get one that's got a good flavor, I feel like it's not too bad. But I think that's kind of where beer's trending right now is towards sour stuff.
Cool.
Yeah,
so
man.
what was that called again?
I think it was called the Booze Cruise.
The Booze Cruise.
Yeah, man.
And what was your food experience like in London?
So people say the food in England isn't that great, but the cool thing about England is that it's definitely a melting pot. So there's just cultures from everywhere there. And so while like fish and chips is fun once, and the rest of I'm sure actually that some of the other foods are amazing, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But,
You didn't try full English.
I know. I'm not trying to be a jerk for any English listeners out there. I'm sure that you guys have some awesome stuff that I didn't even know about or didn't try. Yeah. But like some of the other foods from other cultures, like we had. I can't remember. Maybe it was like Korean food that was pretty good. I'd never tried that before. Yeah. And so like just eating food from different cultures, trying a few different things.
That's cool. Did you try any Indian food?
Not while we were there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a large Indian.
There's a lot of curry.
Yeah. A lot of curry places, a lot of Indian restaurants. Then I heard my good friend Marcel, his girlfriend, she told me that there are amazing Indian restaurants in London. Yeah, I believe that. And she says it's the best.
Yeah. Well, I'll just
probably outside of India,
I just want to go back and try it out.
Woo! But
yeah. Also in London, I don't know, we did a bunch of different stuff. That was probably like the highlights in my opinion.
Yeah.
Paris was pretty cool. So one of the cool things about Paris is we took the train that goes like under the water, you know?
The channel?
The channel.
Yeah.
The Eurostar. Yeah, we thought about flying, but it just seemed faster. It was a little more expensive to take the train.
Was that a decision you made in London? Like, should we fly or do the channel? Or you made that decision?
No, that would have stressed me out too much, putting it off that long. I would have just had upset stomach the whole trip, not knowing how I was going to get to Paris. Yeah. So no, we took the train. That was cool. That was way more comfortable than the plane too. Just chillaxing. My wife just slept. Paris was cool. I felt like Paris might have been a little bit cheaper. We did a lot of the touristy stuff in Paris. Did a ton of walking. We were walking almost 10 miles a day, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. In Europe,
so much walking.
You look at your phone that tells you your steps. Yeah. You're like, what? Really?
I know.
There's just so much to look at.
Yeah.
There's every corner.
Yeah, we got back and my mother-in-law was like, well, keep it up. And I'm like, you call me fat? So now I'm trying to walk 10 miles a day here in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
No, not really.
It's hard, dude. It's hot. It's hotter.
Yeah.
And there's just,
everything's spread out. Like in London, if you walk a mile, there's something cool. You walk another mile, there's something cool. In Albuquerque, you have to walk 10 miles just to get to like the one cool place you wanted to go.
Yeah. And then, the public transportation is just way better in Europe. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what'd you do in Paris?
We went to the Louvre.
Nice.
That was cool. I think we caught it at a good time because I've heard there can be lines for some of the more famous pieces, but there wasn't really a lot of lines. we had some ideas about what we wanted to see, so we kind of caught most of that, and we were out of there by 4-ish. And then I think later that day we went and walked around the Eiffel Tower. Didn't like go up because it was kind of expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't need to do that. I just kind of wanted to see it. And
Did you buy some French fries for like 20 euros?
No, man. I did try duck while we were out there, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Was it amazing?
I didn't love it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm kind of a picky eater, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it was kind of like fatty and like a little bit rare. So I ate as much as I could. That place had this amazing side dish, though, that was these potatoes. It was like almost mashed potatoes, but there was more cheese in there than potatoes. So it was almost stringy while you were eating it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
So I ate a lot of potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the alcohol experience in Petty?
I was there with my wife, and she's not a huge drinker, so I didn't drink a ton. Mostly
No
just
champagne, no.
we had a couple bottles of wine actually,
okay.
especially in France. You know, you're sitting out on the table and looking at the people, and you gotta have a bottle of wine, and that was fun. I'm sure we tried some. I didn't even keep the bottles, yeah. And then just having a pint at the pub now and then.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because everywhere you are, you're a 2-minute walk from a pub.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's something that I miss from Europe, and then the bread.
Oh, man.
The bread. And then waking up in the morning and smelling the bread from the different bakeries. And then, oh, dude.
There was one morning in Paris where we were sitting out having a coffee or something somewhere, and everybody who I saw had a bag with a baguette sticking out of it. It was like 6 inches of a bag. It must have been like fresh bread day or something. I don't know. Like the local bakery just finished their new batch of. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. You know what I noticed in France that was interesting, though, is that I tend to try to get by being really nice to people, and being kind can get you really far, and being charming can get you really far, too. Like if you're just friendly and thoughtful and kind to people. And so I didn't realize how much I got by on that until I got to France, and there was a communication barrier.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to be like charming and kind and friendly when you speak a different language, because you roll into a restaurant, you're like, hey, how's it going? Like, I really like your earrings. And they just look at you, with, okay, you just point on the menu. I'll have that, and they're like, damn tourists.
Yep.
But,
yep.
So I'm going to have to work on my, my foreign language.
Did you learn any French before you went out? Like little things?
Man, like 6 months ago, my wife and I, Haley, we downloaded the Duolingo app, and we're gonna do it, and we did it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then that was it.
Yeah.
So we knew a tiny bit, but not as much as we should have, honestly. We could have worked a lot harder at that.
Well, now you know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, it's cool that you got to go to Europe.
Yeah.
And see London and Paris. Not a lot of people get to do that, man.
Yeah, I'd never been. I was one of the reasons that I really wanted to check out England, not London specifically, is because I was born out there.
That's right.
Yeah. So my dad was in the Air Force, and they were stationed there. I didn't get to go back to the little town that I was born in, which is called Lakenheath.
Okay, yeah.
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 There was an Air Force base out there. I don't know if there still is,
It might be. When I left, it was
Mildenhall.
There's Mildenhall, Lakenheath. Let's see. Air Force bases in England.
So I always had this idea that like I needed to go back to the place where I was born,
Yeah, there's Alconbury. That's where my good friend went to high school.
Okay.
There's Fairford. Yeah, Lakenheath, Mildenhall, Menwith Hill. Menwith Hill is north. I think it's way further north.
Is it?
Yeah. We played them in basketball one time. And the team went, they were like, dude, it was far. They took a bus and they went in the channel. Yeah, dude, yeah.
That would be a pretty huge commute.
I think they're all still open.
I didn't know that. There was like some UFO conspiracies around Lakenheath, Mildenhall Air Force Base.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know them specifically, but there's
there's Menwith Hill.
Wikipedia rant you could go on is looking up that stuff.
Yeah, there's lots of Air Force bases.
That is pretty wild. How many British or English bases are there in the U.S., do you know?
I don't know.
I think it's none.
I think it's zero. There's some. I know the Germans had a presence in southern New Mexico.
Yeah. Down
in Alamogordo.
Yeah.
The pilot, they would train down there.
Yeah.
British.
But it wasn't like their base, right?
No.
It's interesting. I don't know if there's any countries that have Air Force base in the United States.
No, let's see. United States. I don't think there's any. Nope.
Probably not.
Because these are all in England.
Yeah.
But I bet they come over here and train.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You got to go back to your
Yeah.
birth. Are you a dual?
Do
you have
people.
do you
No,
have the
so
EU?
I looked into that, and the cutoff for the dual license or the dual citizenship thing was in January, and I was born in June, so I missed it by a couple of months.
You should get a lawyer.
should.
I bet you could
I
still
was
do it. Dude.
conceived. I was conceived
Yeah.
before January. I don't know if I could. It'd be cool to
bet
do.
you could, dude.
It could be. It would be really cool to do.
Check it. Look into it.
Yeah, I should.
Man.
I should.
Because that'd be great. Well, they're not going to be in the EU
I know.
much longer, right?
I
But
know.
still,
Yeah.
you should.
It's good to have a backup plan.
It's good
I
to have a
guess.
backup. Yeah. I'm going to England. Peace. Well, word up, man. But you were born in New Mexico, correct?
No, I was born
oh, you were born in
Yeah.
England. Duh.
Yeah, but like
And then-
3 years later, it was
and
New
then-
Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. So New Mexico has always kind of been home base.
Yeah.
But we also lived in North Texas for a little while, Maryland, where my brother was born.
Okay.
Lived there for a little while, and then back here in New Mexico. We almost went to Japan once. That
Oh,
was really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we lived in Japan.
Yeah.
Yokota Air Force Base.
Did you?
Yeah.
You guys?
I was a
went to
little
cool
kid.
Places.
I was a little kid. I want to go back to Japan.
Me too, kind of.
But I was a little kid. I have memories, like real brief memories,
Yeah.
but nothing that sticks.
How old were you when you left?
I was 4.
Okay.
I was 4 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like me. I think we left England when I was 3. So I have like snapshots.
Oh, okay. Do you have any memories of Maryland?
Yeah, I remember Maryland pretty well. Our house was like it backed up to a forest. So there's a couple of stories about that forest that were crazy. But one time I remember there was a crazy wind, and there was a tree. It fell in our backyard. It was a massive tree.
Yeah.
It was kind of awesome because I would just go out. We just climb all over it. It was
Yeah.
amazing because
cool.
even on its side, like the branches, it was like having a jungle in our own
Oh
yard.
yeah. How long was that tree there for?
I don't remember. You know, it was on an Air Force base, so they probably took care of it like right away.
Oh, okay.
I imagine they were out there in the next couple days to chop it up and get rid of
Yeah.
it. I don't know.
Was that your elementary school experience in Maryland? The beginning, anyway.
Yeah, that was part of it for sure. I don't remember exactly which years or when we left. I don't actually remember a lot about Maryland. I had a good friend across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Was that Andrews? Were you at Andrews?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
When'd you leave?
Man, that's a good question. I think we probably left not long after my brother was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were back in New Mexico for a little while. Yeah, I don't actually remember. Yeah, I don't remember a ton. I remember getting lost in that forest, which was crazy. Yeah, it was a couple older kids with walkie-talkies asked if I wanted to go for a hike. And if you're listening, I haven't forgotten, and I hate you guys.
Yeah.
Did
you get ditched, man?
Dude, yeah.
Oh, brutal.
They took me to the middle of the forest and they ditched me. And I was this little kid. I think I went to kinder and first grade in Maryland. So I was tiny, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
just walking through the forest. I remember it being terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Just like little ponds, and you could see the reflection. So, and yeah, I found my way back to a park that I recognized that we went to as a family. And I could walk back from the park back to where my house was. But
Yeah.
that was some scary
It's
stuff.
all about the
man.
landmarks,
Oh,
man.
dude.
Yeah. You mean you didn't have a cell phone?
No. Nope.
Yeah.
I did not. I didn't even have a walkie-talkie
Yeah, I
like those
didn't.
two jerks that dished me. Like, hey, this isn't funny, guys.
That's a shitty situation, man.
Yeah, I still remember
Dude.
that.
So after Maryland, you came.
After Maryland, we came back to New Mexico for a while.
Okay.
In New Mexico, I lived for several years. We lived over by Arroyo de los Elementary School, and pretty cool little house, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents got it for a good price, and then when we left, the market was way up, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, they sold it and got some money. Went to Arroyo del Oso for a while, and that was pretty cool too. Had a couple friends, but I never I don't know. I was never great at making friends as a young kid. You know, I had like some anxiety, and I guess I still do, but I had the coping skills.
Yeah.
I have the coping skills for it now, but at the time I didn't. You know.
Yeah.
I had anxiety about school, and so Arroyo del Oso was interesting because I think that's where. So it was probably around second grade that I started there, And that's where the school decided that I was probably struggling more academically than my peers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they had me tested and put into like a special ed program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was maybe I was getting pulled out for an hour or two a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it, man. And that's still kind of an important part of who I am as a teacher, because I just remember the feeling of like, all right, it's time for all the special ed kids to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like put your head down.
Yeah.
It always seemed like that was right when the fun stuff was about to start, you
Yeah,
know, and
I
then they
know.
pull you out. Oh, I hated that feeling, man. And so I got diagnosed with dyslexia, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my dyslexia is interesting because it's not a dyslexia that means that I see things backwards or that words are jumbled, but it has more to do with like my memory and how I remember things and like my short-term memory, my working memory.
Yeah. Okay.
So it makes some things really hard for me.
Okay.
But I mean, you just, as you get older, especially if you have the intelligence to cope with it, you learn strategies, and it's not like a huge deal. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
but that's...
remember, who's that doctor we saw at that training that one summer?
Oh, yeah.
He talked a lot about the working memory.
Yeah, that
and
guy was like a
Jensen.
promotional speaker.
Dr. Jensen.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He seemed like an interesting guy.
He did. He has all those books. Well, he has that one book I know. I don't know if he has all those books, but he has
He
that
does have
one.
multiple.
And, just with the different strategies that you can give the kids in the classroom. And takes, what did he say? Takes 10 minutes each day.
Yep.
5 minutes each day just to do these little things. And then boom.
Just like stretching this muscle in your brain that otherwise just doesn't get used that much.
Yeah.
Not directly, anyway.
All those strategies are really useful.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't use a ton of those strategies like directly for like working memory stuff. No, but so basically the way it translates is I have a hard time remembering specific, like, I don't know, I'd almost call it patterns. Like spelling is really hard for me. Mm-hmm. Like memorizing numbers.
Okay.
I remember as a kid, even to this day, maybe I have like 3 phone numbers memorized. And I know that's not really a thing anymore. Like who learns numbers? I don't know anyone's number because it's all on your phone. But there was a time where you kind of needed to remember people's numbers.
Yeah.
I could remember like 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of stuff is kind of hard for me to like memorize and learn that kind of stuff. But, as you get older and you use technology, being able to spell is a little less important. I still have people who come up to me and they're like, "You can't spell very good." I thought you were a teacher. Yeah. You ever get that kind of stuff? You should know how to do this. You're a teacher. You're like what the being a teacher doesn't mean I know everything.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll mess up and I'll put like when I should say your, I put the apostrophe RE or the other way around and they correct me on it. You're a teacher. You should know. It's like, dude, it's Facebook Messenger. Or like chill out.
You feel like you're representing like a whole subgroup of people. I'm sorry I let teachers down. All the teachers listening, I'm sorry I'm bad at spelling. I give us a bad name. But I feel like it's an important part of being a good teacher is I just tell my students up front, like, this is something I struggle with. It's something I'm going to struggle with forever. There are things that I don't struggle with. And you guys are going to have things that you struggle with too, but you can still be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I make mistakes in class and I'm like, oh, sorry guys, that's not how you do it. Rewind. Rewind.
Yeah, well, you teach 5th grade. That's some complex stuff, man.
Oh,
especially in math. You guys are working with...
Dude, some of that Common Core stuff, I'm looking at it and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm sure there's high school math teachers out there who are thinking we're a couple of idiots.
Yeah,
like, we have to divide fractions. Like,
yeah.
But man, that kind of stuff, if you forget how to you can lead them down the wrong. I've caught myself as a teacher doing that.
That's why I like the professional developments, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That's how you do that. And
you need to be reminded how to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dude, math. Absolutely. And that's what I tell the students. You got to do math every day, and that's why you have math homework every day.
Yep.
And, it's practice. You got to practice. Yep. And I tell parents, keep up with the multiplication. Keep up with the division. Like, just keep doing it because it's always going to stick with them. Yep. Whether they're doing fractions, decimals, algebra, whatever.
Yeah.
Keep up with that. And, it takes practice.
It does take practice. But on the parent side, it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
I'm a parent. My wife's a parent. My wife works. She gets home maybe at 6 every day. The kids go to bed at 8. She's got 2 hours with them. She doesn't want to spend all that time fighting about homework.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's hard to find a balance. You have to figure out what's important to you and your family. And for us, that's academics and being successful with that kind of stuff. But I could see, we have families at our school who are working 2 or 3 jobs. They aren't even home to make sure. It's hard. So there's got to be some balance, like imparting the importance onto students so that they can try and take it up and work on it on their own a little bit. But there's no one definite answer.
Yeah, with the multiplication, like I just give them that, that chart. It's like there's a name for it, but it's a multiplication chart. And I'm just like, yo, look at the one you struggle with.
Yeah.
And on the bus or in the car or tattoo it on your hand. And no, don't do that.
No. I mean, you can, but you got to wash your hands before you take the test. Yeah.
And then, I don't give homework on Fridays.
Yeah, I never did that either.
I mean, they don't do it on the weekend anyway. Yeah. So I actually got that idea from Sandy.
Yeah.
She's
like, awesome.
I don't give homework on Friday. They don't do it on the weekend anyway. It's like, okay.
And I figure, like, if I don't want to grade stuff on the weekend, then I shouldn't be asking them to do stuff on the weekend.
Grade? No, plan. What's grading?
Who does that? That's one of the things that's nice about the new position is I don't have like a ton of I don't have a ton of grading to do
that's
anymore.
Awesome.
Awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I can tell. Like when you've done the PDs for us, like what was the one you did? It was really awesome. The anxiety, the empathy, the exhaustion. Where you're just exhausted.
It's called sympathy fatigue or compassion fatigue.
Compassion, yeah, dude.
Yeah, where basically you're working with all these people who are in poverty and you're sort of absorbing that and helping them cope. But if you're not coping with that, then you are left with a bunch of, like fatigue from the trauma that these people we're working with are struggling with all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really important. It's interesting. So I saw that at first in a professional development that someone else did, but I was talking to my wife about it. She's a social worker, and she works with all kinds of different people, but specifically right now she works with people primarily who have addiction issues. And she said it's something that social workers talk about all the time because they're dealing with other people's trauma, and they have meetings where they talk about how are you coping with your compassion fatigue. And I think as teachers, it's something that we don't consider enough, especially now that the population, at least I can speak specifically to our school, our population is a little bit higher need, and we have a lot of trauma at our school, and we need to be talking about how, as teachers, we're coping with this trauma, because as people who are helping children and even some of the adults regulate and work through this trauma, we're absorbing a significant amount of it, and we need to talk about like how we're working with each other or at home. Like, what are you doing to combat this compassion fatigue?
Yeah, man. And one of the things, because I've dealt with it for a few years, and one of the things that helps a lot is going to the gym. Yeah. So whether it's early in the morning or after work, like I'll like lift weights and do some cardio, and then afterwards I'm like, you know what? That issue that I had earlier today isn't even really that bad. Or I'll think, okay, this is how I can help the student or the family. Yeah. And you just keep the brain moving.
Have a light bulb while you're on the treadmill. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also talking to my coworkers, because they're like, dude, I'm in the same boat. And I'm like, really? Because it seems like you got it on point. And they're like, nah, I'm dealing with the same issue. So,
man, teacher happy hours. I feel bad for anyone who's an outsider, because there's no talking about anything other than work. It's just like, what about this student? Oh, that student. Did you try this?
Yeah.
That's all happy hour.
Like when you bring your significant other, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, it's just like looking left and right. I'm going to check my Facebook. Yeah, dude,
I feel kind of bad for them. But teachers need that. And we don't do that at school. There's no time.
Yeah.
The whole time you're at school is all focused on the student. And there's not even time for all the paperwork and all that nonsense that you need to do, let alone having important meetings with your peers about what's eating you up and what you need. And especially I think when you're at school, if you talk about it, you feel kind of weak. But if you're at the bar having a beverage, it doesn't bother you as much. But it's hard to go to someone and say, I'm struggling with this in my classroom. Do you have any ideas? Because it makes you feel like a weak teacher. And it's important to you. I think, especially with teachers, it's the only thing I've ever done really in a professional capacity, but we all take a lot of pride in what we do, man. And we take a lot of pride in how our classroom is run and the stuff that we're covering. Yeah. And it's really hard to set that pride aside and ask someone for a little bit of help or even just to vent for a minute. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's good to get to know your coworkers. And communicate. Yeah. And you start learning what can happen, what cannot happen, what people will help you with, what they kind of have trouble helping you with. Yeah.
You learn who has strengths in the building and who might benefit from your strengths in the building.
Yeah, that's...
yeah, and I think...
Start sending them to their room. Go to their room.
I can't look at you right now.
You need a break. Yeah, go to their room.
Yeah. No. I got in trouble for that once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I probably could have handled it better, but I had a student who I found out was making like racially charged comments to another student, and it got me really fired up. You know, I was like, I'm going to make a poor choice. I'm going to say something dumb. So I think I told the kid, like, I can't look at you right now. I need you to go sit in the hallway or something like that. Like, I can't look at you right now. I need to calm down from this. And the parents got kind of upset, and they were like, they said you couldn't even look at them. And I explained the situation, and they're rational people. They seem to kind of understand. And this was just a kid who's in third grade. Like, they probably barely knew what they were saying, or they just thought it was funny. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it got me riled up. And sometimes you kind of have to take like a break from that.
I think you did the right thing. I mean,
it's better than
people forget that we're human beings too. It's like, well, you did what? It's like, well, you never made a mistake, or like, what are you, perfect?
Yeah. I mean, telling a kid I can't even look at you right now is kind of harsh.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. It is harsh.
I could have handled it better.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're having thousands of interactions with 30 kids every day, all day, I mean, you can't be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
And if that's the worst that I do, then that's not so bad.
Yeah, that's not so bad. Yeah. You got teachers duct taping kids to chairs. And
oh, man.
hitting them. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, that's crazy.
Man. I laugh. It's not funny.
No,
but
it's
like,
not funny.
Man. But, teachers keeping kids in the classroom, searching their backpacks. I don't know the law behind all that, but I'm pretty sure that you can't do that. You need some guidance on those issues.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons that or that I'm grateful that we work in an elementary school, because I don't have to worry about that stuff as much. Maybe.
You remember the Alice training? Did you go to that?
Yeah. Run
as far as you can.
If you can't run, still try to run.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't work, throw a chair.
If you can take out the shooter, take him out. And I'm just sitting there like, man, this is so depressing.
Oh, it was terrifying.
And then he did the Columbine statistics.
Just showing pictures.
The VA tech, what they did, where they went, and
this guy blocked the door. This guy ran out the window.
Yeah, they broke the window and just jumped out, and this class didn't do anything, and it's it's so
terrifying.
Depressing.
I can't imagine,
dude.
Yeah.
All right, back to
Okay, sorry. See, this is like all we need is a beer, and then this is everybody listening to our teacher problems again.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
I have beer.
You are now the significant other at our happy hour chat.
Yep. Yeah, these conversations are important though, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're a teacher. Yeah, they can handle it."
Yeah, summer breaks are for the teachers.
Like all the problems that you have, we have the same problems. So.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Trying to balance everything. It's tough.
It's a lot to balance.
Yeah.
But so elementary school.
So I qualified for special education, did some classes. I hated it. And so I don't know if this is real or if this is my perception, but I just remember going to like this small room, and lady would bust out like a reading textbook, and she would just say, "Read this for a little bit."
Yeah.
Oh, so bad. I even remember her name, but I'm not going to put her on blast. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not around anymore. She was a little bit older, but
read this, sonny boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I would go home crying.
Yeah.
I would. Like, it was, it was awful. So then we moved to Texas, North Texas, Wichita Falls.
Wichita Falls?
Wichita Falls. Everyone drives through Wichita Falls. It's on
I have
I-40.
a great story about Wichita Falls.
All right, you go first.
I went, so let's see. I graduated high school.
From in Germany, right?
In Germany.
Yeah.
And I came back to Albuquerque. And a good friend of mine, Tom, the year before I graduated, had moved to Oklahoma. To Lawton? Lawton, just north of Wichita Falls.
Yep.
So my plan, I'll take the bus to Wichita Falls because it was cheap.
Yeah.
And then
like
he
the
would,
Greyhound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would just drive down and pick me up.
Yeah. Make things easy for me.
Oh, yeah. So I took this horrible bus trip
man.
from Albuquerque to Wichita Falls.
Can I just tell you that I've also done the Greyhound bus from Albuquerque to Wichita Falls?
Really?
Oh, yeah. I did it before. Keep going, though.
We stopped in all these little towns in Texas, and we stopped at a gas station one time, and people had gone in front of me. I forget the name of the town in Texas. We were like 45 minutes outside of Wichita Falls. People had gone in and they were coming out, and they were all white, all white people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'm going to get something to drink. So I went to the door and it was locked
The door for the bus?
for the gas station.
Oh, this sounds
And
familiar.
the lady's looking like they had one of those windows that you could turn.
Yeah.
And she turned the window. She's, what do you want? It's like, I just want a Coke. What kind of Coke? Regular diet? It was like regular Coke.
Yeah.
I'll get it for you. And I'm thinking, all those other people just went in and bought their stuff. And
But they wouldn't let you inside.
They wouldn't let. She locked. I don't know if they were closed
No, dude.
or.
Just because you're brown.
Oh man. So she got it to me and she's like, $1 whatever. And I gave her like a $5. I don't have change. And I was like, "Ah." So I looked at my wallet and was like, oh, here you go. You know, whatever. Here's $1.50. Just take the whatever. Keep the change.
Yeah.
Got on the bus, made it to Wichita Falls, and we get off the bus, and it's just surrounded by like Texas state troopers, and they're just standing there. And I'm like, oh man, what is going on?
Like, wait, so you
Yeah.
pull up in the bus and, wow.
Texas
Like,
state
lights
troopers.
on?
Lights on. They're lined up. They have dogs. And I'm like, oh, man, what is going on? So I get off the bus, and they're like, hey, is that your only bag? Do you have anything in the undercarriage? It's like, nope, it's my only bag. I'm good to go. Well, are you staying in Wichita Falls? No, I'm going to Lawton. I look to my left, and my buddy's just like, hey. You know, like, ah.
He's like there to pick you up.
Yeah. Hey, John, what's up? Hey, what's up, man? So it was like, yeah, there's my ride. Oh, okay, cool. And we were leaving, and we saw them grab somebody who they were waiting for.
Like
yeah.
off the bus?
So I was on the bus. I always like to say I was on the bus with the serial killer or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Trying to escape New Mexico.
That's awesome.
He got caught in Wichita Falls. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But, okay, so Wichita Falls.
Yeah, actually, so my bus story for Wichita Falls, I can't remember why we were there, but it was to visit some old friends. And I think that was, so Wichita Falls, I'll always look back on it like with fond memories because it seems like a dinky maybe town without a lot to it. But actually, it was kind of big for me for a few different reasons. One reason is when we got to Wichita Falls, they didn't put me in special education. And I don't know why. I think my mom might have advocated for that a little bit.
Yeah.
But the main reason was that when we got there, I made friends. And these were, I'd never really had, I don't know, I mean, I guess I had friends before, but I didn't really know what it meant to have like a real friend until we got to Wichita Falls. So just a few weeks after getting there, I made friendships that like I'm still in contact with people to this day.
Nice.
With friends that I made in Wichita Falls, just good people. And so my friends were also all like really intelligent, successful at school type kids.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I learned in Wichita Falls was how much your peer group influences who you are.
Yeah.
You know, because I ended up spending time, like we did all our sports together and hung out together after school. And we all lived, I mean, Wichita Falls is a small town anyway. We all lived pretty close, like walking distance to each other. And so like being good at school just became something that I was kind of interested in.
Yeah.
Because of the peer group that I was with, and they influenced me quite a bit. And I actually found a lot of success in Texas with my academics. And it was nice because I went from someone who was experiencing a decent amount of anxiety and never really felt like I was really successful to being someone who I felt like, you know, I was doing okay.
Yeah.
And that was a nice feeling. And that continued for a while. Played some sports, was never really very good at like a lot of sports. But I also
What'd you play?
I played football. I was a linebacker, but I've always been kind of a little bit heavy and a little bit slow. So I've never been real great at it. I played soccer a lot growing up. Was never real because I'm a little bit slow. I played baseball, and it turns out actually you can be a little bit heavy and slow and be good at baseball.
Yeah.
So I was decent at baseball, you know, because I could hit the ball, and as long as I hit it, you know, away from everyone, I didn't have to run super fast.
Yeah.
So.
Just keep hitting home runs.
That's right. No, I never hit a home run. No. But Wichita Falls was awesome. It was like a transformation time for me in a lot of different ways. You know, they had state regulated or mandated testing in Texas long before they ever did in New Mexico. It's called the TAAS test, TAAS. I took that and I did well on it. And I was like, my parent teacher conferences were going good. And it was a good feeling to like sit down with the teacher and not have them tell like my parents how dumb I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And having good friends was awesome. So in middle school in Wichita Falls, it started in like 5th grade. two important things happened in 5th grade. One was I got into choir, which like just kind of influenced my story from then on out, because I found something that I kind of liked, and I found something that I was like kind of good at, and that kind of influenced my peer group. But the other thing is I started having to go to the bathroom a lot, like a ton, just drinking and peeing all the time. I remember one time I ran for student council for 5th grade because we do student council stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, and like my platform was like, we'll take more restroom breaks, and because that was what was important to me, man. I was like, we'll spend more time in the bath. We'll shorten PE by 5 minutes so everyone can get a drink of water. And everyone was like, shorten PE? Are you crazy? I did not win anything. Yeah. I had my first girlfriend in 5th grade.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, man. I got kissed on the cheek. Her name was Lacey York, if you're listening. Thank you so much for being my first girlfriend. You were awesome. I was like the new guy from New Mexico. The girls were like, "Oh, this guy's kind of cute." Yeah. It was weird for me. Like,
What's his name?
I'd never been the cute guy. Seriously, that was kind of fun because, like I said, I was kind of chubby and slow. So I ended up spending a lot of time at the doctor, doing some tests and stuff. At first, they didn't really believe me, and they checked for diabetes and stuff. And so they did some scans, and what they found was that I had a pituitary tumor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in my brain. It was like kind of between the optical nerves, tucked in behind the pituitary. So because my dad was Air Force, this was all like medical doctors and stuff. So they found this thing, and they said, "This is why you're going to the bathroom all the time." And I just remember my mom like getting the phone call and breaking down, and me feeling like I had to be strong as like this 5th grade kid for my mom who's breaking down crying. That was like, I just remember, like, there's a few times in your life where you feel like your blood just leaves your body and you feel super light and you get like a little bit cold. And have you ever experienced something like that?
Yeah.
And
I have.
Yeah. And so we just, like, it was maybe 3 days later, they said, we're going to do an emergency brain surgery on your kid. And so we're trying to figure out, where's my brother going to go? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
So they flew us to San Antonio, and I had brain surgery like the next week.
Wow, man.
Yeah. They went in through my upper lip, and they took out like a big chunk of my pituitary and part of the tumor. So that was another reason that my stay there in Wichita Falls was kind of a transformation for me, because I mean, you can't go through something like that and not have it change a little bit about who you are. I wouldn't say that it defines me, but it definitely played a huge role in who I am, like my personality. And it's kind of sad as a young person, like learning to take life more seriously at a young point, but I definitely matured a lot during that time. And I stayed in Texas through middle school, recovered nicely. Everything went well. And big props to the military. They covered everything. Yeah. I think the only thing my parents had to pay for were the meals I ate in the hospital. And I remember seeing a bill. It was over $100,000 for the whole brain surgery and everything. So I'll always be grateful to like the military, and my dad always be grateful to his service in the military as it is anyway. But just the fact that they take care of their people at that time. I know there's some complaints about how people are being treated. Like,
there's some struggles definitely going on.
But I felt like they supported me and my family during that time. So that was really cool. And lived there through middle school. And then we got news that my dad had gotten, what's it called again? Had gotten orders,
transferred.
Maybe.
Yeah, transferred. Yeah, gotten orders,
That's when we were going to go to Japan. And then they said, well, I'll make you a deal. I guess that's something they do sometimes. They said, if you go to Iceland for a year by yourself, TDY, we won't send your family to Japan for 5 years. And then after Iceland, you get to pick where you go next. Something like that. Yeah. So then we came back to New Mexico. It was really hard. My brother and I did not want to leave Texas.
Oh, yeah, I bet. I mean, just, from hearing about your experiences.
Yeah.
And
I was scared. Like, coming from a New Mexico, which was a place where I never felt like I had strong friends and I had a lot of anxiety and was never successful at school, going to a place where I felt like I had this support system and I was being successful. I was scared to come back, man. And I know that's kind of funny because I mean, that's just what I thought of New Mexico. Like, this was not a place that was like a good place for me. Yeah. Yeah. But my mom advocated a little bit, and she was like, well, choir's this thing that you're into. And she actually picked a place, like I don't know what kind of research she did, but she was in contact with choir teachers in Albuquerque at the high schools, just reaching out like, where's a good choir for my son to go? And I think a big part of where we ended up living was because like Carla Erickson at Monzano contacted her back and said, yeah, we'd love to have him.
Nice.
And so that's why choir was a big part of my life, because when I first started at Monzano, those were the people those were my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were done with middle school then in Texas?
Yeah, so I finished middle school in Texas. I did freshman and sophomore year at Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So junior and senior year was at Monzano. Wow. And my peer group at Monzano was choir, which is cool because I don't know if it's like this at every high school, but the choir at Monzano was a melting pot. We had guys there who were stoners and jocks and like the nerds and the like all kinds of like super ultra religious conservative people but I loved it, man. Just friends all over,
Did you guys perform on a regular basis, or was it more of like a...
No, we performed.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember. The choir I was with in Texas, we performed at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. That was really cool.
Wow.
I know the choir in Monzano, we went to L.A., and we performed there.
Really?
Yeah, we did quite a bit of traveling.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I know, especially like with all your friends. Those are my friends. We're all on a bus driving all the way to L.A.
Yeah. See,
that was cool.
I had a lot of good experiences in high school, like for football. Like we got to play football in Italy. Like, where are you going this weekend? Italy, play football. Whatever.
What position did you play?
We were a small high school.
Yeah.
So we had to play offense and defense.
Right.
I was a center.
Nice.
I was a middle linebacker.
Okay.
And I was a kicker.
I was weak side linebacker.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Linebacker was a fun position.
I love linebacker.
Dude,
you get a running start.
Man. Yeah. But my last two games, my senior year, they let me run the ball, and I always wanted to run the ball.
Yeah.
And I did really well, and my coach was like, "We should have let you run the ball more often." I was like, "Yeah, man, come on." But I wish I would have took more advantage of like other clubs or after school activities, just not sports, But
it's okay. I mean, you find your peer group. I'm sure those people were your friends, and you guys would go.
And it was the same thing. Like we had the nerds play football, the stoners. Yep. I went to high school with about 250 kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really small.
I think my graduating class was like 1,000.
What?
But the choir was about 100. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool, man.
So that was my main peer group, and I still love those people. Even when I see them, it's almost like seeing family.
Yeah.
Give them a big hug. And most of my friends that I'm still in contact with now are friends that I made while I was in choir in high school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, what year did you graduate?
01.
01. Oh, I was a 02.
Were you?
I was a 02.
Can you believe our 20-year reunions are coming? Are you going to go to Germany for your 20-year reunion?
Well, the thing so my high school's knocked down. But the base doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The DODS, which would be like APS, but it's DODS, Department of Defense Dependent Schools.
Yeah, I know about it a little bit. I thought about applying when I finished with
I've applied and
hard to get into.
Oh, dude, it's so hard.
Hard to get out of, I heard too.
Yeah, it is.
Because you get set up like you're making good money, and I think they
live
give you
in
like a housing
country.
expense.
Yeah, you get
cost of living might be a little less where you
COLA,
are.
cost of living allowance. They pay for everything. Pretty much, if I recall correctly, you have to pay for gas.
Yeah.
And your phone bill.
No way. Like they pay for your rent or whatever, your mortgage, and that's insane.
Yeah. So the cost, what a lot of people do, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in Germany, people will buy a house and they'll use their cost of living allowance for their mortgage. So pretty much it's free mortgage. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You should do it.
Which is something I kind of don't agree with that. I'm like, well, I don't know if you should be doing that, but at the same time, if they're going to give you that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Aren't there countries where you're not allowed to own property if you're not a citizen?
I'm not sure.
I'm
sure there is, dude. Yeah.
I wonder. I guess if you were going to try and use that hustle, you better find a place where you can own property.
I bet there's got to be some kind of stipulation. Like, if you're going to retire here, then you're going to have to do this, this, and that, and maybe possibly become a citizen and start paying German taxes. And
makes sense.
Yeah. But
So your school's knocked down?
My school's knocked down, doesn't exist. What DODS does is there's these liaisons, these representatives, and they'll say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I graduated from Hanau High School in '96. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a reunion for the students who went there from '96 to 2004
Okay, so it's like a
in
group of-
Vegas
Yeah.
on this date. So if you want to come. If not, don't.
Yeah.
So every summer it's in a different place, and each high school, each school or whatever has a different representative. So like, Mildenhall, we're going to have or Lakenheath, we're going to have a reunion in New York
Yeah.
on July 1st.
Yeah.
So come through for the years 98 to 2008.
Yeah.
So that's what they do.
You got to check that out, man.
Yeah, actually there's one, I think there's one this summer. I haven't,
Yeah.
they haven't been posting a lot on Facebook.
You know
so
where
I
it's going to
haven't-
be? Is
It's
it
going to
in
be
New
in
York?
Vegas.
Vegas is not too hard to get
Yeah.
to.
No, it's not. I keep telling them, come here. come to Albuquerque. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, that's a real city? I'm like,
Right.
yeah, it's a real
So we
fucking
can be like,
city.
Christmas, that's not a thing. You can
Yeah.
teach them all about Christmas, huh?
Yeah. Actually, here, Christmas means this. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
I
funny.
actually would have a lot of interest in going to a reunion. If we had a reunion for the choir, as nerdy as that sounds, like if just
Yeah.
all my old choir friends had a
See, that'd
thing,
be cool.
I would do that.
Yeah.
But because I was kind of entrenched in this group and I was only there for 2 years, I didn't know a lot of people outside of my.
See, I made a lot of good friends after. Like, I still have a few good friends from high school, but I made a lot of good friends after high school. And
Like college.
yeah,
You went
college,
to UNM, right?
and then I went to college in Germany.
Did you?
In a city called Mannheim,
That's cool.
and it was real small, and it was on base. It was
Yeah.
University of Maryland University College.
Okay.
So I met a lot of good friends
University
there.
of Maryland University
College, yeah.
You got to throw that university.
We called
in
it
there.
UMUC. Yeah. UMUC or UMUC.
Yeah.
But met a lot of good friends there. Met a lot of friends from friends that I made, and in Mannheim and Kaiserslautern. And my buddy Daniel just got married in Miami. Back in January.
I remember you went to that.
and that was like a reunion. It
Was
like,
all your old
man? Yeah, it's like, oh, this is so awesome. Yeah, dude.
That
Like,
is
we're all
awesome.
in our 30s and like balding and like
Kids,
and
spouses.
yeah, still drinking, still drinking a Jameson and acting like idiots. But yeah, it was fun, man. It was a good time.
That's cool. Yeah, Miami's pretty awesome.
Oh, dude, Miami.
I don't know if I'd want to live there, but
Yeah, I could see myself
yeah.
living there, but it's big. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
people think, oh, Albuquerque's so big and traffic sucks. It's like, go to Miami.
Yeah. Albuquerque's spread out, but it's not
Yeah,
big.
it's spread out. Yeah, it's not big. Exactly.
It's kind of nice. I like the space, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Little,
Yeah.
what is it? My buddy Omega has a saying, and now I forget it.
Biggest little city.
Big city mentality, little city reality. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I ask him that all like, what's your saying, man? You need to make that a shirt.
Yeah, write that down for me, man.
But so you graduate,
Yeah, I graduated.
and then what'd you
I
do?
got the Bridge to Success scholarship. So actually, funny story about my senior year was there was one class, the only class that I ever almost failed in high school, and it was photography. Did you ever take photography?
Nah, dude.
I took photography.
I wish I would have.
Because it was senior year, and I had space for electives.
Uh-huh.
I was on the right track, and there was a girl in there that I was really into.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's always one.
Oh, and we actually went out for a little while, and she was really nice. And I had senioritis, man. I did not want to do anything in that class.
Yeah.
We had final projects where we were supposed to take photographs and stuff. And I honestly, I don't know. I just flipped the switch, and for that class, I just didn't give any Fs. I just, you know. And so I think I had a 40
Oh no.
at the end of the semester in that class, and I was gonna like lose my opportunity to have the Bridge scholarship, which is like the one that gets you to the lottery because your GPA had to be a certain number. So I went to the lady who was super nice, and I just said, I blew it, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna lose my opportunity to have a scholarship because I'm an idiot.
Oh man.
And she passed me, man. She passed me with a
Wow.
70. She said, I will pass you, but you have to promise not to take this class next semester. True story. And I said, I will never bother you again.
Yeah.
And I said, thank you. And then I became the TA, the teacher assistant in the girls' chorus for the last semester.
Oh wow.
So the girls,
That's what's up, man.
the
Yeah.
girls' chorus was all like freshman, sophomore, and sometimes junior girls singing beautifully.
Cool.
Yeah.
You did that for the whole semester?
Yeah, and that was awesome.
Nice,
you know, I
dude.
would help them warm up and do like scales and stuff. I guess that was
what's up.
yeah.
Do, re, mi, fa,
Yeah.
sol? Yeah.
So I was also in a club by Mr. Perry, I think was his name, at Monzano, and it was called the Future Educators of America. So
Yep.
I knew from pretty early on that teaching was kind of what I wanted to get into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I don't know, I was just like socially awkward every time we met because I didn't know any of the other people in there. But I don't know what I really gained from it except to hang out with other people who kind of wanted to be teachers. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew from pretty early on. I think my experience with like hating my special ed time through knowing what it felt like to be successful really gave me some ideas about how much a teacher or person can influence a kid just by helping them to feel successful.
Yeah.
You know? I think feeling successful just breeds success, and giving a student an opportunity to feel unsuccessful just breeds that unsuccessfulness.
Yeah.
And if you can motivate or help or inspire or, you know, get kids to feel like they're successful in any way and build on that.
Yeah.
I decided I was going to be a teacher because I didn't want any other kids to experience that stuff that I did.
Yeah.
Because I'd done both, and I knew what I wanted it to be like for the kids that I had a chance to work with.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I went to UNM.
UNM?
UNM.
Lobo. Everyone's a Lobo.
That's right. I did okay at UNM. I didn't do great in my undergrad classes, but it's a hard time, man.
Yeah, it is.
You
That
know?
transition. Yeah. Did you stay on campus?
Yeah, no.
Did you? Oh, okay.
No, actually, so that's a whole different story. But my friends and I, one of my really good friends, his grandpa passed away our senior year of high school and left a house to the family.
Oh, okay.
It was a hard time for them, but his dad, my friend's dad, offered us the house if we wanted to live there.
Oh, wow.
Right out of high school. So
Yeah.
it was this thing where we graduated, and then me and 3 of my best friends moved into this pad.
Man.
And it was
What an
like the
experience.
craziest year of my life. Stuff that I'm not even willing to talk about
Oh,
on air, honestly. But it was amazing. And I still love those guys. I don't get to see all of them all the time because they have their own lives, man, you know? But it was a fun year. It was a great year.
It was like Animal House.
Oh, it was like Animal House. So
you want to know Taylor's experience, just watch Animal House.
That's right.
And
That's right. And I was the only one in there that was going to college at the time, which was kind of tough because my boys would, you know, they would have jobs and they had responsibilities. you know. But sometimes I felt a little isolated.
Yeah.
You know? But my good friend Brandon, he would like help me write papers, and he was the only one with a laptop. He would let me borrow his laptop to do my schoolwork.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. You got to have those friends with the resources.
That's right.
Can I borrow your laptop? Yeah.
I know. He would be playing a game. He'd be like, True story.
Fine.
I think he helped me write it more than one, where I was like, I don't think I can do this. He's like, I got you, man. Let's do this. Yeah, good friends. I've been blessed with good people in my life.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah.
I'm a lucky guy. So I finished. It took me 5 years to do college. I was doing 12 credit hours a semester just because like I knew what my limits were, and I knew if I tried to go too crazy, I wasn't going to finish. I
did the same thing.
It was truth for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I took 5 years, and I don't have any shame in saying that because I finished and I did fine. And all my educator classes, I did fine. My student teaching was awful. I had the worst mentor teacher.
Did you?
So this lady, she would stop me in the middle of a lesson and like tell me what I was doing wrong. Like in front of the kids. This is a second grade class. She would just stop me. She'd be like, nope, you're doing that wrong. She'd have me submit lesson plans to her and then just throw them out and be like, you need to rewrite these.
This is garbage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get in the closet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much, man. I remember being in my apartment. I was sharing an apartment with my wife by that time. Just being on the floor crying. Just like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I'm not going to finish. But I'd come so far. And so... I got through it. I was talking to the people at UNM. I was telling them everything that was happening, and they said, just do this. Do your, like, what is it? I think at the time it was maybe 3 weeks, so we had to do student teaching. It's called full...
Yeah, the solo.
Yeah, the
3 week
solo time. They said, finish your solo time, and then, you know, you can go to a different class or something. You can just leave. So that's where I met Heather, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I finished my solo time, and then I hung out with Heather for the rest of the school year. And she was teaching special ed, and she was a bit of an angel for me, too, because I needed a place to escape to. And she was kind of there. Like I said, I've been blessed with like supportive people my whole life.
She's a good person to escape to.
Yeah, she's a good person. She's real, you know. I like that. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite things in a person.
Yeah,
someone who's real. I try to be real and honest.
100%.
But she's real. She doesn't really sugarcoat. She just tells you.
No, she doesn't.
I like that. I do. So then I was ready to quit, but I couldn't. I didn't quit. I graduated, and then I wasn't ready to be a teacher because my confidence was shot, man. I did not want to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So I decided to be an EA, and that was a good experience for me. Got some confidence back. You know what helped me get my confidence back wasn't watching amazing teachers. It was watching teachers who were not that good.
Yeah.
That's what really helps with my confidence. In my 2 years as an EA was, and I'm not trying to say that the teachers I worked directly with were not great teachers, but being in a lot of different classrooms, I saw a lot of teachers who I felt I could do better than this.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like I can do this and I can do better.
Yeah.
And so one of the teachers at Grant Middle School where I was working told me about this program where I got my master's at UNM in special education.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And so that was a lot of fun. Met some great people there too. Worked really hard. Took me like 2.5 years. The cool thing about this program doesn't exist anymore is it was completely paid for. I didn't have to pay anything to get my master's.
See, man.
Yeah, and
I need to go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the catch is you taught for a year. Like as soon as you got accepted, you were looking for teaching jobs.
Yeah.
You taught for a year at half pay.
Oh, wow.
So I was already an EA. I was already making about half what a teacher makes anyway. It wasn't a big change for me, except for I was running the classroom, which was fine. So you teach for your first year at half pay on an intern license, and then they covered all the masters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great program. I learned more in that master's program than I did in my undergrad, for sure. I didn't feel like undergrad prepared me for teaching, really.
Look, I had some great professors
Yeah.
at UNM during my undergrad,
Yeah.
but I also had some not so great
Yeah.
professors who were just like, you didn't prepare us
Yeah.
at all for these situations. And
Well, and I have to take some onus. It might have been partially me.
Yeah,
Just, like
there's
I
that
wasn't
too.
paying attention, or I wasn't
That
putting,
kept me up at night.
I wasn't
Did
putting
do
enough into it to get out of it what I needed to.
Did I put in the effort? Yeah, man. So what year did you get your bachelor's?
Oh, man. 06.
And then you got your master's in...
So I took 2 years. That would be 08. And then like around 2010.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So what is this? This is 2020. I've been teaching about 10 years. So that's about right.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
about right.
10 years.
Yeah, man.
It goes by quick. I got done with my 6th year.
Ooh. You know what's exciting about 10 years? I only have like 15 more until I can retire.
Yeah.
Serious. Look at me. Got a pension.
Oh man. Yeah, I can't. I don't know how long I'll be teaching.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I have a lot of ideas. I
know you do. You have good ideas.
I think I have good ideas.
Nah, you do, man. You do.
Oh man.
Just fresh ideas. You got to keep them coming. I think I'll probably teach at least until I'm able to retire. I mean, I'm halfway in now.
Yeah.
What would be the next thing you did if you didn't teach?
I don't know, man.
Yes,
That's
you
what's
do.
scary.
You're just saying that. You know, you have ideas.
I think I'd work full time on the music.
Yeah.
Like really push it.
Yeah.
Like really, dive into it.
Yeah.
Travel.
Do like some touring.
Do some touring. Take music to different people. You know, try to get in on the music, TV or movie, TV industry with the music. Yeah.
Like composing music for movies and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think that's where. So you don't hear a lot about classical composers right now as it is, but I think that some of the most like beautiful modern compositions I've heard are stuff from movies and shows. Mm-hmm. I know my brother has a record. It's like the Game of Thrones record. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
Oh man, these guys make amazing music. I guess that's where the money is, right? Yeah.
If you can get licensed, if you can get your music license, because you're going to get residuals from that as well.
Yeah.
And then like every time it plays on HBO or whatever, it's like, oh, here's another check. It's like, oh, nice. But yeah, man, we'll see. I thought about going back to school, not in an educational aspect.
I wouldn't.
No. Thought about taking some journalism classes, communication.
My sister's a journalist.
Really?
If you want someone to talk to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll give you some information later.
Yeah. Does she live in New Mexico?
She used to. She worked for the Journal for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now she works in Austin for the Texas Tribune, I think is what it's called.
Oh,
It's
okay.
an all online
Really?
publication. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of papers going online now, just
Yeah,
strictly online.
I think you have to survive.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But like Albuquerque Journal, they're still printing, but they're also online, you know?
I know. Yeah.
Man.
Journalism would be cool.
Yeah, something like that, getting into video, film,
Yeah. Podcasting.
podcast. Oh, I've always, like, ever since I heard podcasting was a thing, I was
Yeah.
like, I want to do one of those.
Yeah.
Like, what, 2008 when I heard about it? 2009? And I had a coworker, Christine. She's like, yeah, you should do one. You should do one. I thought, what would I do a
I know.
podcast?
That's me. I feel like, man, I'd love to do a podcast, but what do I talk about all the time?
Yeah.
I could do one about education, but I think there's like 1,000 of them
Yeah.
out there.
Who cares, dude?
Something specific to New Mexico.
You're a
is
good talker.
idea.
You're a good talkative talker. You're a speaker. Yeah,
a
man.
little too chatty.
Nah, man, you're good.
right.
You're good. Yeah. Like you could do a podcast on like the PD that you did.
Oh,
the
yeah. Compassion fatigue.
compassion fatigue. You could do one on that. Yeah.
I could do
Do
something.
one on transitioning from a teacher to a librarian.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be surprised, bro. Yeah.
Maybe some tips on like how to do it if you're interested. But
Yeah.
no one wants to hear about like the transition.
You should get your homies from choir in high school. And talk about the good old days. It'd be
that'd
great, man. Yeah, I think
that
that'd
would
be
be
awesome.
cool.
Mm.
You know why I got good at like talking and public speaking and stuff is because when I was a kid and school was hard for me, they'd split you into groups and everyone would get a job and I didn't want to be the writing person
Yeah.
or the art person because
Yeah.
I'm just terrible at those. I mean, I already talked about how my spelling is. And so I would just volunteer to be the talking guy. And I would say, I'll present. I'd still be there for ideas and stuff, but I would volunteer as the presenter person. I think it's one of those things, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I can perform, like get on stage.
Yeah.
And I can teach in front of 25, 30, fifth graders.
Yeah.
But like you ask me to present on, John, tell us your experience as a first-year teacher. I'll look at everybody like, let me put that in the form of a rap song.
You need to do that.
Yeah. See?
You need to do that. I would
There you
listen
go.
to that shit for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look at because like my vocab sucks, dude. When I have to talk in front of a certain amount of people.
And then you start kind of forgetting.
We'll see the what's the word the first year teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the PowerPoint will explain. Yeah, dude. I'll mess
I think
it up.
the biggest group I ever spoke in front of was it was 2 years ago. It was at the mid-school math conference in Santa Fe, and the keynote speaker was Joe Bowler, who's kind of a hero of mine. But a group of people that I was working with on like growth mindset, something that we talked about a little bit in math, and talking a little bit about the mid-school drop-off in math performance. And I did a presentation there in front of, I don't know how many people. It was a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of an
Thousands.
adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't thousands. It was like a side room, maybe
okay.
100 or so people. But
That's cool.
yeah, I like it.
See, I need to put myself in those situations. Get
You know
out of my comfort zone.
You know what you do? This is what I do. Commit to shit that you don't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then be someone who's not willing to like say no or give up and then just push through and do it. That's what I say, all right, I'm going to do that. I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what
there's
did I
that
get myself into?
there's that position opening up next year for the assistant IC.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I thought,
It's decent money, isn't
Maybe,
it? Like
yeah.
10,000 or
I
something.
think it's 5.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
And I thought, well, let me, like you were saying, let me push myself into that position where I'm at a point where I can't say no anymore.
Yep, you should
So-
do it. I'm not
Yeah, I
going to do it.
need to talk to Connie.
Yeah, you should talk to her.
We'll see. It'll
know.
be a lot of time.
I talked
I
to
know
a
that
couple
much.
other people who are interested.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You should do it.
I'll look into
good
it, man.
for- yeah,
for
man.
sure.
Absolutely. You'd be an IC someday.
Yeah, man. See, that'd be a great position.
You think you like that?
I think I'd like it. I don't know about all the testing stuff,
Yeah.
but I think helping out teachers,
Yeah.
helping them build in their classroom outside of the curriculum, like, oh, you should use this for your social studies, or
Yeah.
use this as a writing activity, or
I think being an instructional coach would be really cool.
yeah.
I could see myself doing that. For a while there, I thought I wanted to be a principal, maybe, but I don't know.
I don't know if I could do it. Dude.
I don't know. You know, my problem with that, it just doesn't seem like fun. I think I've
doesn't
told you that before, but
Yeah.
I can't see, where's the joy or the fun in that job? It
Yeah.
just seems like it's all,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like the principal position. What are the dudes in Harry Potter? The Dementors?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that position, like just like slowly sucking your soul. Like,
Yeah, I just...
oh, man, dude.
Yeah, I don't
But I give props to the people who are principals.
Absolutely.
I see them day in, day out, you know. First one's there, last one's to leave.
with kids.
Typing.
Man.
On the phone.
Emailing.
Parents waiting at your door first thing in the morning.
Super angry.
It's super angry, dude.
And then still, like, to do all that and try and stay positive, you know?
Yeah. Smile on your face.
Yeah.
And trying to inspire your staff.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
But, yeah, I mean, maybe. My friends ask me, like, hey, man, you're going to be a principal one day. Nope.
I know. That's funny. People say the same thing to me. It's like they feel like the corporate, like, you got to keep rising, keep getting promoted. They feel like, you know, if you're a teacher, you know, next step is that principal. You're gonna keep going. You're gonna keep being a principal. But like that's not always the natural progression.
I think
things.
I'd like to curve and be an IC.
Yeah,
or,
IC would be cool.
Something else.
Library's cool.
Library.
There's a lot of different things you can do as a support person.
There is. I think our native education teacher.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Has that
Be a
gig
fun
on
show.
it. Yeah.
Like an intervention.
An interventionist, yeah, like what
Mary Lee.
Mary Lee, reading interventionist,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
even a counselor. Like, I'd love to be a counselor.
You have to get a master's for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
You could get your
here I
master's in
go.
counseling.
Yeah. All right.
That would be a lot of fun.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
A lot to think about. See, that's another thing. I have so many ideas,
Yeah.
and I want to do everything.
Gotta
I
write
want
them
to do
down.
this. I want to do that. I want to open a food truck. Yeah, dude.
That sounds amazing.
Want to open a brewery. Want to put the food truck in the brewery. Want to.
My brother and I have this gag where we're gonna open a dive bar. We just want to have a dive bar.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
I want to do comedy.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You know.
I kind of want to do that too.
Yeah, man.
We'll
We got
do it
to.
one of
We
these
got to
days.
write.
Gotta write more.
Yeah, that should be a goal by the end of the summer. Have a 5-minute set.
Have a 5-minute set.
Have a 5-minute set.
That's a
dude.
good goal.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
and then we could practice it for each other
Yeah, dude.
because I don't want to.
Yeah, man.
I can't imagine like telling my wife, "All right, babe, listen to this for a minute. I'm gonna tell you some jokes."
You know what we should do? We should get a 5-minute set.
Yeah.
Get everybody, all the teachers, to go to like Green Jeans or something.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, guys, check this out.
This is
Tell us what you think. Yeah. But
funny.
there might be some teachers who are like, oh, I don't like that joke at all. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah. Well, I think most of the people we work with now are kind of on board with the types of jokes we
Yeah,
be telling.
dude. That'd be funny. Yeah, go to Green Jeans or wherever.
Yeah.
Do our 5-minute set.
You know what we should do is invite them all out to karaoke, and then when it's our turn to sing, we're just like, fuck singing. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell some jokes. And
Yeah.
you just tell jokes for the whole song.
Yeah, that'd be great, dude.
I wonder what people would do if you
Yeah.
did that.
Like, oh, excuse me, sir, that's illegal. You have to do a karaoke song.
Yeah, shut it, karaoke guy.
Yeah.
You don't know my life.
Kick over the machine.
Ah!
See, there's a joke right there. We got to write that one down.
Yeah, don't steal my joke.
Hey, we'll share that one.
Yeah, all
And
right.
then when we do it, we can source each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Do like a comedy bibliography.
Yeah.
Bibliography.
Bibliography.
Yeah. This joke is also done by Daniel Taylor, June 18th,
Yeah.
2019. 19th.
That's my sister's birthday today.
At 1:43 p.m. in the afternoon while doing a podcast. So,
Shout out to Jolie. I love you.
oh, happy birthday. Yeah. Yeah. Word up. So, this being the red and green report, I've
Yeah.
kind of asked people what they prefer as far as red and green chili.
Yeah.
But I think I need to change that question because
Everyone says
it's been
both.
the same answer. Like I like both, or depending on the dish, you know what I mean? I have my preference.
My answer
But-
is different from that.
Oh, okay. So
I'm just kidding.
I don't like chili at all. What are you talking about, chili?
Get the hell out of here.
But I guess what's your favorite New Mexican dish?
My favorite
I
dish.
think I'll
Man, I
ask.
came prepared to talk about my favorite chili. And
Okay.
now you're hitting me
Okay.
with this.
So, what do you
No, I'm just-
prefer?
So I'm a red chili guy through
Oh,
and through.
yes, man.
Only red chili.
Yes.
I don't. So I've had a little bit of green chili that I like once in a while, and it's not even like the dish. It's more about how it doesn't matter. I'm just a
Yeah.
red chili guy. Red
Okay.
chili. I honestly I like to keep just some red chili and put it on whatever. Put it on anything.
Yeah.
It's so good. So good.
Dude, I love red chili.
I love red chili.
Yeah, man.
I think you
Especially-
can tell a lot about a restaurant by how good their
dude.
red chili is.
Oh, dude, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like even just with like tortillas and beans.
Yep.
Red chili.
Yep.
Boom.
Just tortilla
I like
chip.
the same thing with green chili, but for some reason I'd rather have that red.
No,
man.
not me. Red chili all
Yeah.
the way. My favorite dish. That's a tough one. I really liked a good stuffed sopapilla.
Oh yeah, man.
Like carne out of maybe a stuffed sopapilla, carne adobada, red chili, refried beans, like it's like the mushy kind.
Oh yeah, man. Where do you get that at? What's your favorite spot? Or do you make it at home?
No. My wife and my daughter can't eat sopapillas. They would kill me if I made sopapilla.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Monroe's has a really good stuffed sopapilla.
They do.
I like to go there.
Shout out Monroe's.
Shout out to Monroe's. Everybody in my family loves Monroe's, so we go there all the time.
Okay.
It's the one place we all agree on. I also like, I don't know, it's not like New Mexico cuisine, but I like fish tacos. Just went to Dia de los Tacos the other day. Had their fish tacos. They're amazing.
They are good, dude.
Oh, they're so good. El Patron has some amazing fish tacos. If you've never had them, they have this, what is it? It's like a sauce. Anyway.
I've heard good things about El Patron. Yeah.
My wife worked there for a while. We still go there to eat. I feel like it's a good sign of a restaurant if you can work there and then you still want to go there to eat.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's mostly, like a good breakfast burrito. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were shouting out a couple breakfast burritos that I've never had. I need to try out. I guess like one of the beef jerky company or something.
Dude, yes.
Has an amazing breakfast burrito.
Also, you can add chicharrones to it.
That's what they said. Or they'll put their jerky in there or something.
It's so good. I haven't had the one on 4th Street. If you drive towards a Wells Park tractor, it'll be on the left-hand side.
I need to check out that place.
Dude,
I'll probably text you to get an address.
I think they're opening a second spot, and it's like right next door.
No way.
I don't know why they're doing that, but yeah, dude,
I heard they
really
have an amazing burrito.
Yeah. I
like a good breakfast burrito in the morning. But I've always kind of struggled with being a big guy, so I'm trying not to eat that stuff all the time.
Yeah, man. I try not to eat until 12 o'clock.
Is that one of your things?
And I'm trying not to eat meat during the week.
Really?
Which is really hard.
Yeah?
It's really hard. Like I cheated. Me and my buddy Ua went to the Nexus yesterday, and I had the fried chicken. But working out too, like that helps. And then I have my bike, and
working out,
trying to cut out the soda, which is also hard.
Yeah,
I cut out Diet Coke, and I traded it for Diet Ginger Ale.
Yeah,
but it's still pretty much the same. It's the same ingredients, dude. And I'm just like, man. Yeah. But yeah, just the exercising and I'm doing that fasting where I don't eat till 12, and then. But yeah, I know people who eat burritos on a regular basis, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then they go to Burger King. You know what I mean? And like in my 20s, I ate like that. Like I would eat.
What's frustrating to me as someone who struggles with my weight is when like slim people who can just eat whatever they want all the time.
Oh yeah. They got that good metabolism.
Oh God, I hate it.
Dude.
So jealous and angry.
Yeah, dude, I feel the same way. Like I've been a big dude for a while, and I worked really hard to like get to this point, and I'm still like, man, I need to lose more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you go out with a buddy and you'll be like, I'll have the chicken salad.
Yeah. Can you put chocolate cake on top of the pizza? Deep fry it, bring it back, and then they eat the whole thing, and they're like, oh, I'm still hungry. And it's like, dude.
It's the worst.
But okay, yeah, fish tacos, carne adobada, stuffed sopapilla.
Yeah, stuffed sopapilla.
Yeah, I haven't had No, I went to Monica's de Portal in Old Town. Have you ever been there?
I don't know.
They have a good. It's Rio Grande. It's right across the street from Old Town, like the entrance to the Old Town.
Yeah.
The the walking streets and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really good, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I thought it was... Oh, you know what else I think is pretty native to New Mexico is like I don't know, like is it the Indian taco, like the fried bread?
Yeah.
With the like maybe some beef and then like red chili, avocado.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I really like that. I don't know if there's anywhere else in the world where you can get something.
I don't
like
think
that.
so. Not like they do it here.
Yeah.
I've seen it in Texas.
Have you?
And it doesn't look
really.
Yeah, it's like they use like chili, like Texas chili on
like
it.
And it's chunky meat chili.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No. Nowhere like New Mexico to get your food, man.
Yeah.
I'm hungry right now.
Me too. Me too. I might have to stop and get a taco.
Yeah. I'm going to meet up with a buddy to go we're going to go try, I forget the name of the pizza place.
Yeah?
But yeah, we're going to go try it.
New pizza place?
It's, no, it's old. is it Pizza Castle?
Yeah, they just have a new building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to go to Pizza Castle all the time.
He's been speaking it up to me. So
It's good pizza.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
They have a new spot. I don't know if it's open. I just drove by the other day.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look it up before we go. But as an educator and as someone who's been through a rough educational experience, and someone who's still an educator and knew from a young age that that's what you wanted to do, what advice would you give to somebody who'd want to pursue education as a career?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I think, so first of all, I would say that, so I'm guessing this person has some idea about like wanting to do good for the people around them.
Yeah.
Wanting to make a difference. And I would say that educating is definitely a powerful way to do that. And I would say that, so my tips of advice, I think what helps me to be a really good teacher, and what I would say are some good strengths or qualities that you could have to help you be a good teacher. One is to have a short memory. You know, that kid who gave you a hard time all day, you got to go home and you got to forget about it because they deserve a fresh start every day. And that's hard to do. Yeah. But you have to give them you can't come back to work the next day still pissed at them. You can't do it because that relationship's going to spiral and you're going to lose them. So you have to have a short memory. The other thing I think that's helped me is just being empathetic. And just trying to understand everyone's perspective. And when that kid comes in and has a shitty day, like the first thing I think to myself is, why are they, there's something going on. And sometimes it's something as easy as they didn't eat breakfast, but sometimes they have complex situations and trauma going on. And they're taking that on you because you're a safe person. So you can find a little pride in being that safe person and try to be empathetic. And that doesn't always make it easier to work with them at the moment, but it's good to like help understand. I would say that, I don't know. I think those are my two biggest tips. Also, I think spending as much time in the classroom as you can before you become a teacher is a good idea. Yeah. Because I think it's not always the job that some people think it is. Yeah. I'd like to tell people like, hey man, maybe work or volunteer at a youth center before and after care. Yeah. Or even at a school if you have your background check. Well, you're going to have to get a background check at a youth center anyway, but yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think people have these grand ideas, you know, about what it's going to be, and it's hard. Yeah. It's hard work and it can be grueling, and there can be days where you feel like you're done. And that's another case where having a short memory, I think, is really useful. It's not all like playing with kids. I think there are jobs that are just mostly playing with kids, but it's not being a teacher. If you're a really good teacher, then you're constantly challenging yourself and you're challenging other people, and that's hard. Yeah. Challenging yourself and challenging other people is exhausting. Mm-hmm. So I think just to be mindful, and I'm not saying that to discourage anyone from being a teacher, but I think it's important that they have a realistic idea of what it means to be a teacher. Yeah. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's kind of like being a parent. My wife has this, it wasn't a saying, but she had this complaint when we first started being parents about how all the other moms were talking about, this is wonderful, being a mom is amazing. Mm-hmm. And she said that none of the moms talked about how hard it was, and it made her feel like she wasn't a good mom. So that's kind of what it's like being a teacher. Like, it's hard being a teacher, and it's okay to talk about how it's hard. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, and there's going to be times when you need to ask for help. And the first few years are going to be super confusing, but also know this. I think this is the most important thing. When I was in my master's program, that one of the teachers told me, and she said, as long as you care about the kids, you know, and you do the best you can, you're not going to ruin a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, there's nothing you're going to do in that classroom that's going to ruin somebody or ruin something. Just go in with the best intentions, work hard, and care about those kids. Because if you think back to the teachers that you had, it's not the teacher that taught you how to divide fractions that you remember. It's the teachers that cared about you. Mm-hmm. That's what you remember. You remember the teachers who cared about you and who were able to show you or communicate that to you in a meaningful way. And so I think if you're coming from that place, then you're going to find success as a teacher.
Wise words, man. Yeah. Wise words. Yeah, that's some great advice. I like having a short memory. That's important.
Super important.
Well, man, I think on that note, we'll in the podcast?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
You down to come back?
Yeah, I'll come back anytime.
We'll do like a food podcast.
I would love to.
We'll do like a fish taco podcast.
Oh my god.
So me and Omega, we're doing a pizza cast.
Are you really?
And we were supposed to do it weeks ago, but yeah, we're gonna.
So
get it done.
how does you can just order a bunch of pies?
So,
You're just gonna take a bite and talk about it?
What I did was I put a picture of a pizza on Instagram,
Yeah.
and I asked people, "What's your favorite pizza spot?"
No.
And then they voted on it. So people said Giovanni's was the best.
Giovanni's is the best in town.
Yeah. So
Have you had it?
I've had it.
Okay.
Me and Omega went, and so we're going to talk about pizza in the city
Awesome.
and his
Yeah.
experience, my experience.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? Corporate over homemade, hometown.
No, I get you. I could
companies.
talk pizza.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not trying to.
Oh, yeah, man. Let me know.
Yeah.
No, but we could do like fish tacos or stuffed sopapillas.
I love food. I
Yeah,
know.
man.
I'd be happy to.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming
Yeah.
through. And
Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, man. We'll have to get up again this summer and go. Yeah, we got to work on our.
Yeah, we're gonna write.
Yeah, work on our comedy, our 5-minute set. Yeah.
Maybe after our sets are decent, we could do a podcast with our sets.
Oh man, yeah.
And just
Dude,
do it on
that'd
the
be
mic
fun.
with nobody laughing.
Yeah. I can get a laugh track. Well, that's not a laugh track.
No, but I get the idea.
Did that record?
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did. No. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's on the machine. So.
Right on, man. Thanks
All
again
right,
for
cool,
having
man.
me.
Yeah, thanks for coming through.
No problem.
Peace. 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 Peace.